What is up, Skol Nation? Listen closely because the North is about to get real loud, and you do not want to be the last one to know what is going down at TCO Performance Center right now. We are talking about roster moves that will shake the very foundation of this franchise as we head toward the draft. You need to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell immediately because things are moving fast in the Twin Cities, and only the real ones stay updated. Do not miss out on the latest Vikings news every single day. Jonathan Greenard is officially the name on everybody's lips around Egan right now, and not necessarily for the reasons we want to hear. Our acting GM Rob Brzezinski basically just dropped a massive hint that this roster is far from finished, and he is keeping his dry powder ready for some major action. Even though Coach O'Connell wants him on the field, it is getting impossible to ignore those trade rumors that have been swirling for over a month like a blizzard on Lake Minnetonka. The Vikings are tight on cap space, and Greenard is looking to get paid that top-tier market value, which honestly might be a number we just cannot hit. Brzezinski mentioned that as the market evolves, new opportunities are going to present themselves, and that puts Greenard right at the top of the list for potential trade bait. Think about it for a second, because if a team comes calling with a high draft pick or a sweetheart deal, do the Vikings pull the trigger to save that precious cap space? We are better with him on the edge, but the business side of the NFL is cold as a Minnesota winter. It really does not sound like the door is closed on a deal, and if he is moved, it changes our entire defensive identity overnight. The front office is showing crazy discipline, but that restraint might just be the calm before the storm that sends one of our best pass rushers packing before September even gets here. Every single day that goes by without a long-term commitment makes the trade talk louder and louder. We are looking at a situation where the team might value the draft capital and financial flexibility more than the immediate production on the field. It is a high-stakes poker game being played right now, and Greenard is the biggest chip on the table. If he goes, who fills that massive void? This is not just some minor roster tweak. We are talking about a fundamental shift in how this defense operates under Flores. The clock is ticking, and the draft is looming large, which means a decision has to be made sooner rather than later. Are you ready for the possibility that our star edge rusher might be wearing a different jersey come week 1? Because the signs are pointing toward a massive move. TJ Hockenson is another massive piece of this puzzle that has everyone in Minnesota holding their breath as we look at the books. After that nasty ACL injury back in December of 23, it has been a long road back for our star tight end, and the contract situation is getting real interesting. He already restructured to drop his cap hit down to $15.6 million. But let us be real here, Skol fans, this is a contract season for him. The rumors are starting to heat up that if the Vikings fall in love with a young stud like Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon in the first round, Hockenson might suddenly become expendable. It sounds crazy because he is a top-tier talent when healthy, but look at the math from over the cap. After June 1st, his dead money drops from over $12 million to just $5.3 million. That makes a summer trade not only possible, but actually logical if the front office wants to get younger and cheaper at the position. We saw what happened when we moved on from other veterans in the past to save space, and Hockenson could be next if the right draft pick lands in our lap. He has had a couple of rough campaigns lately because of the injury, and the team has to decide if they want to bet big on his recovery or move on, while he still has high trade value. Imagine the draft night shock if we take a tight end early. That would be the writing on the wall for Hockenson in purple and gold. He has been a reliable target and a favorite in the locker room, but the NFL stands for not for long when the salary cap starts squeezing. We have seen this movie before in the Twin Cities where a fan favorite gets moved to pave the way for the future. Brzezinski is all about that discipline and keeping the powder dry, and moving a big contract like Hockenson's fits that strategy perfectly if they think the production can be replaced. It is a cold world in the front office, but they are looking at the long-term health of the franchise above everything else right now. The numbers across the board are telling a story of a team in total transition, and nobody is safe on this depth chart. Take a look at Theo Jackson, who is buried behind legends like Harrison Smith and versatile guys like Josh Metellus. If the hitman decides to come back for season 15 and the Vikings grab a safety in the early rounds, Jackson is basically looking for a new home. It is a double whammy that most players cannot survive in this league. Then you look at the backfield with Xavier Scott, who had that cool moment in Ireland, but now he is staring at Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones Sr. taking all the snaps. If we use a top 3-round pick on a running back, Scott is gone because you do not cut high draft picks for a third stringer. Even Dwight McGlothern, who was a camp darling, is facing a final contract year with a mountain of competition like Byron Murphy and Isaiah Rodgers. The The scenario where the Vikings stay quiet is becoming less likely by the hour. We are looking at a potential influx of rookie talent that will push these veterans right off the cliff. If the draft brings in 2 cornerbacks and a safety, the secondary will look completely different by August. The cap savings from a Hawkinson or Greenard trade would allow us to be aggressive in the late free agent market, where veterans are looking for a home on the cheap. Brzezinski is playing the long game, and the scenarios range from a quiet summer to a total roster overhaul. If we land a blue-chip edge rusher in the first round, the leverage for Greenard to ask for more money completely evaporates. The same goes for the tight end room and the backfield. We are talking about a high-stakes game of musical chairs, and when the music stops in September, there are not going to be enough seats for everyone currently on the roster. The statistical probability of all these guys making the 53-man cut is near zero. We have to be prepared for the Vikings to move on from familiar names in favor of fresh legs and cheaper contracts. It is about building a dynasty, not just a one-year wonder. And that means making the hard choices that keep the window open for years to come. Every draft pick we make is a direct threat to someone currently on the roster, and that tension is going to make training camp the most competitive one we have seen in a decade. Look, Skol Nation, as an insider who sees how these things play out, it is clear the Vikings are prioritizing future flexibility over current sentiment. Trading Jonathan Greenard would be a massive blow to the pass rush, but if the return is a second-rounder and $15 million in cap space, you have to consider it. The discipline Brzezinski is talking about isn't just about spending less, it is about knowing when to fold a hand. I think we are going to see at least 2 of these big names moved before the season kicks off in September. The draft is the key to everything here. If the board falls a certain way, and we get our guys, the veterans become assets to be traded rather than pillars of the team. It is a bold and aggressive strategy that might hurt in the short term, but sets us up for a decade of dominance. You have to love the guts it takes to keep that dry powder ready when the fans are screaming for signings. This is how you build a winner in the modern NFL, by being smarter and more patient than the rest of the league. I truly believe we are witnessing a masterclass in roster management, even if it means saying goodbye to players we love. The vision is clear, and the execution is starting to happen right before our eyes. Stay patient, because the payoff is going to be huge when we finally hoist that Lombardi Trophy in Minneapolis. This offseason is about to hit a whole new gear, and I want to know what you think about it. Would you trade away a star like Greenard or Hawkinson to secure our future, or are we better off keeping the talent we have for one big run? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because I read every single one of them, and I want to hear from the real Vikings fans. Do you trust the discipline of Brzezinski, or are you getting nervous? This is our team and our journey, so let us talk about it. Before you go, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We are the #1 source for everything Minnesota Vikings, and you do not want to miss a single update as we approach the draft and beyond. Your support means everything to us, and it helps us keep bringing you the best insider content on the web. Click that notification bell so you are the first to know when the next bomb drops. Thanks for watching, Skol Nation, and as always, we will see you in the next one. Purple and gold until the day we die. Let us go, Vikings!